Hey everybody, welcome to Crossover Attack Episode 5. Take 2, beginning. Don't worry about that.
It was all according to plan. We meant to do this twice.
Yeah, totally. You're here with the short-haired boys this week.
That's right. We joined the cult.
Yes. Hunter Davenport here, and
Hello.
I'm Eric Freshley. I want to thank everybody. Last episode, the one with Rachel Moore, was our most popular episode yet. Thank you all for listening in. I hope many of you have decided to stick around. And tell your friends, too. That'd be real nice. We got some stuff to talk about. Go ahead.
Let's talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 again.
Yeah.
For the first time. So, I famously on this podcast said I hated Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And then I listened to the Bombcast, and I was convinced I was never going to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Then Jan got to me. He just got in my brain and kind of dug around, and was like, this is stuff Hunter likes. I'm going to say it's in the game, so he has to play it. And I was like, okay, fine, Jan, I'll play your anime game. And it turns out, I really like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But yeah, comments good.
Yeah. That was my biggest complaint when I played 2. This is not normally my style of game, but I don't know. That was a kick I was on a while back to, like, I want to try out some JRPGs. And yeah, the combat with 2 just was a complete turn-off to me. Plus just how slow the story was to get going, and I didn't find it that interesting when it did get going. But you're saying the combat's better in this one? More involved, I should say?
Yeah, it's more involved. It feels more like an MMO than the other ones do, I'd say. Because, like, you can, like, very easily stack status elements onto them, and, like, a lot of interesting variety in how you can, like, coordinate with your group. I will say, this is the first JRPG I played in a while that I was in a, like, direct control of it within, like, the first 10 minutes of the game.
Good. Yeah, this thing, notorious for just being slow going there at the beginning.
Yes, absolutely.
So how far along are you into it?
I am almost 10 hours in.
You think you're gonna stick with it? I hear it's long as fuck.
If it keeps being as enjoyable in, like, the story and content, like the combat still stays kind of fun the way it's been staying, I'm definitely gonna stay with it.
Good.
Yeah, it's like I said in the first attempt. I really enjoyed this group of characters. They're not as annoying because I hate that first. The kid in the second one is the
Rex.
most annoying person on earth. Yeah, I hate him. I hate him.
I'm so glad he's not the Xenoblade 2 character that ended up in Smash Brothers.
Me too.
Yeah. I have mostly been playing Multiverses, but I can't talk about that for the third week in a row. So I did decide to jump into a couple other games on Game Pass just so I can try out some other stuff and talk about them on the episode here. And Turbo Golf Racing is the newest one. It's tough to find much to say in this game about this game because it is exactly what it was advertised to be. It's exactly what I expected it to be, and it nails it. And that is, it's essentially Rocket League, but they took the soccer out and replaced it with golf. And it nails it. It feels as nice to control as Rocket League. It has the art style exactly like Rocket League. It's pretty shameless, but, you know, that's what they were going for, and they fucking hit a bullseye with it. It's in early access now, I should say. So, you know, it's still pretty content light, but that's understandable in an early access game. And I had a good time with it. I don't think it's going to grip me and get me to keep coming back. But, you know, hey, they nailed exactly what they were going for. You could argue that, you know, not the most creative thing in the world, but
hey, it works.
It works, and it's fun.
Dude.
And, you know, if you have couple buddies and you just want to get on Game Pass and play something, you could do a lot worse than this.
I do have a question about this game.
Yes.
Do the cars control as good as they do in Rocket League?
It feels like it, yeah. I mean, granted, look, I played Rocket League the day it came out and really haven't touched it since then. So my memory of Rocket League might not be the best. But yeah, it feels almost identical to me, honestly. Feels and looks identical.
one of the best things about Rocket League is how those cars feel. So
Yeah.
that's a big selling point to me on this game.
Yeah, then I think you would have a good time with this. The video of my stream is up on my YouTube now, youtube.com/FreshleyStreamedGames. But honestly, like, it was tough to come up with things, even in the video, to say, like, hey, this is exactly what I expected to be. And that's not a bad thing.
Nope.
There it is. Turbo Golf Racing. Let's jump into Fallout 76.
So, I kind of, at the beginning of when this game came out, I kind of railed against it because it was like as a Fallout fan, there was a multiplayer Fallout game coming out.
That's exactly what I wanted.
I know, and at the time I was like, "Oh, this is just not at all what Fallout is." Like, to me, it was it was an abomination to me. But then I kind of grew up a little, and then it came to Game Pass, and I started playing it, and I realized I was wrong. This game is actually pretty good.
Well, I don't think you were wrong about how it was when it launched.
No, I still feel justified in some of the things I said when it launched.
Yeah.
But now I as the theme of Hunter Eats Crow for the past 2 weeks has come on, this game kind of surpassed my expectations. It feels like a regular Fallout game with just, you can play with other people, and I think that's what it should be. And I really enjoy the dialogue and just the world and the setting up settlements and camps. It's a lot of fun. And you can play the banjo. It's like the coolest. So, you know.
That's the I guess the second game on Game Pass that you can play the banjo in with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Is it the first game where you can fight Mothman though?
Probably, maybe Wasteland 3. Well, actually, this was before Wasteland 3, so yeah, probably.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've been kind of threatening to get into that game forever. Really, since it turned a corner, it sounds like about 6 months to a year after it came out. I think the update where they added NPCs was kind of that was kind of the big thing when everyone started talking about, hey, this game might be pretty good now, alongside Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky, and games that really came out bad but turned a corner. So I got to jump in at some point. It seems neat.
It is definitely a lot of fun.
How, and I think we asked Rachel this because she's also played this game, how survival is it? Are you like, banging on trees to get wood, and are you picking up rocks to build your town and stuff like that?
It's really not.
Okay.
You're scrounging for resources, but you don't have to cut down any trees or anything. You're basically just looting things for it.
Okay. Just like
it's like
Fallout 4.
It's how it worked before. It's just more people can contribute. Like, it's pretty cool. I generally really like it. It's got a thirst and hunger meter, which I thought was gonna be annoying, but it's actually really fun to like scrounge for food and like have to cook.
Oh wow.
It's a fun.
Can you eventually build stuff in your town where you can stop hunting and scrounging for water, or it'll be just like, hey, here's our food factory.
So you can build water sources that will collect water for you, and you can like start a farm.
Nice.
I believe you can get a chicken coop too.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool. They definitely put a lot of thought into the crafting. Feels more. It weirdly feels better than Fallout 4's crafting because it feels like there's more of a point to it.
Good.
Yeah. It's a fun time.
I ended up Fallout 4 was a complicated game for me. My feelings on Fallout 4 are complicated, I should say. I ended up not doing a lot of town building in Fallout 4. But a lot of that was because you could have many settlements, and it was like, well, which one do I want to make? Do I really want to put a lot of time into, and which don't I and stuff? But in this one, you pretty much have just one, right?
You have your camp. That's what you got.
So maybe that would kind of alleviate my problem. Like, all right, this is my home, and this is the one I'm going to deck out and make look cool.
As a New Englander, I'm forced to love Fallout 4 because it takes place in one of our cities, or our states. So,
yeah,
we got all of it.
I got to get in there. Actually, wait, one last question about that. Do they have any... I guess this applies to many games, but Fallout, I like when the weapons are not realistic. I like crazy ass. I want weird shit. I want either just like total sci-fi guns or just like almost Sunset Overdrive style guns where you're just picking up weird shit and trying to make them into weapons and stuff.
You are in luck, Eric.
Okay.
One of the weapons, and you don't get to keep it as far as I know, but is a robot's head.
Okay.
That talks to you. So it's like High on Life, essentially.
Oh, nice.
And it just incinerates enemies. There's some cool weapons in there. I saw there's one that you fill with syringes. So, it's pretty great.
Okay.
It's
the heroin gun?
Yeah, kinda.
I'm into that idea.
It's pretty cool. I generally enjoy the game. I'm gonna play some more soon. When I can tear myself away from Xenoblade.
Yeah. Like I just talked about, the season pass in Multiverses is over in 2 days, and I still got like 2 levels left, so I'm gonna probably, as soon as we get done here, I'm gonna try to grind out some more of that.
I'm waiting for the other characters to drop soon.
Morty?
So just Morty. I want to play as Rick.
Morty's on
August 18th, I think.
No, that's when the season starts, but Morty's a week after. I think he's the 23rd.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? Oh, okay.
They just announced that a couple days ago.
I saw Tony, I can't pronounce his last name. Kyun?
No, I thought it was Nguyen, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I saw him on Twitter asking if people like bows and arrows, so I was like, oh, is Legolas coming? Like,
that guy talks about everybody, though. Like, he does. It's tough to... he's like the opposite of Sakurai, where Sakurai would be like, I don't discuss anything about what's coming up in the game because I don't want anybody to get hints. Tony's like, I'll discuss everything, so then you don't know what to believe.
I saw him on Twitter be like, I'm watching The Boys. So I was like, oh, is Butcher going to be in the game? Please say yes.
So I have been playing... I did play the other night, I should say. I played co-op of the Quake remaster that released about a year ago. Mm-hmm. Because I got one friend who's super, super into Quake, and I'd never played Quake before. I was not a PC gamer back in those days. It's easy to see how influential this game was, and kind of the things it was doing that nothing else was doing at the time. But going to it now as a newcomer, I had a tough time, just because it's so hard to figure out where you're going or what you're doing. It's so easy to get lost. I spent most of my time getting lost. Like I said, it was a group of 3, and one of us was a big Quake fan, and 2 of us really were just kind of trying to follow the leader with him. But yeah, it was confusing and tough. I really do hope that Quake comes back as Doom 2016 style full reboot. It seems like, from my understanding, just kind of from watching the fan base on Reddit and Reset Era and other places, people want to... There's been kind of the tale of 2 Quakes, where there's been the Alien side, which was 2 and 4, and then kind of the Lovecraftian side, the Gothic side, which is 1. People seem to really want the Gothic side more, so I hope they do a full reboot, and they kind of wipe the slate clean and just make it the kind of gothic horror, not even horror really, but kind of the gothic creepy setting, and make it a modern shooter like you would expect, which I feel like id might be doing, because I think the last DLC for Doom Eternal kind of wrapped that story up, so it seems like they're ready to move on to something else. I do wonder, gameplay wise, how they can make it distinctive from from Doom and Doom Eternal.
I'd be interested in how because they don't, none of those games have connective tissue between them. Like, they got the Lovecraftian thing, and then to the aliens.
Yeah,
and I think there's the arena thing in 3, and then in 4 they kind of brought back the aliens.
Yeah, and there was Quake Champions too, which everybody kind of forgets about, but.
That game is real. It happened once.
It's still open. I don't know if anybody's playing it. I'm surprised they never brought that to consoles.
The coolest thing about that game is it has BJ Blazkowicz in it. So.
It has Doomslayer, too.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I know Phil Spencer. Now they're under Microsoft, of course. Phil Spencer has like talked about Quake was one of his favorite games growing up and everything. So I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to make that happen. And there have been rumors about that. Like about 2 years ago or so, there was one popping up from Nick at Xbox Era. But I mean, he leaks a lot of stuff, and some of it's true, a lot of it's not. But one of the things he had said was they're going to do one with a female protagonist. I hope that ends up being true. But that was a long time ago now that got out there, so who knows?
I feel like that could differentiate them, like that game amongst Doom and Wolfenstein, because like those are very like masculine, kind of hyper.
Yes.
Games, like they could benefit from a female protagonist in Quake.
The biggest thing I think of when I think of the last two Dooms are, the loop of the glory kills, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think you should just straight up copy that if you're going to do Quake.
No.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I wonder is like, hey, what's going to be their version of that? What is going to be the new thing that is going to be just as cool as glory kills were, but different? You don't want to do the same thing with both franchises.
I would hope that it would be more like you were saying, like it's more like puzzle-like Quake is, kind of.
Yeah, actually, I talked about that in our first recording. I didn't say that here, but that was why it was so confusing to me. Like, I kind of thought the levels were going to be more linear, point A to point B, and you're all shooting together and having a good time. And, you are having a good time. But it is, the levels are small spaces, but they're like kind of puzzle like. There's a lot of you got to find the keys, you got to find the right combination of switches to kind of, a lot of times you can see the ending straight from the beginning, but there'll be a gate blocking you and you just got to find a way to unlock the gate and stuff like that, which maybe it was tougher because I was playing in a group and it was stuff like, hey, somebody else unlocked the door but I didn't even see where he did it, I don't know where the hell they're at. But now this door in front of me just unlocked, and I'm lost. That was happening a lot when we were playing.
Yeah.
They did add a horde mode just like 6 months ago or so, which we did not get a chance to do that, but I might have more fun with that when I'm playing with a group, because you can't really get lost in a horde mode.
Yeah. You just gotta survive. That's all you need.
Yes. So yeah, if we get a chance to play Quake again, I'll probably try that instead.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like if they are going to reboot it, which, I think they will, I just don't know if it'll be soon or not, it would either be id themselves or, Machine Games. Machine Games pretty busy with Indiana Jones now, and fingers crossed to Wolfenstein 3. But, a lot of shooters over there at Xbox.
Excited for that Indiana Jones game.
Yeah.
Pretty excited for it.
I wonder if, and now that they will soon have Overwatch, so maybe this kind of is a moot point, but I wonder if they don't do a Super Smash Brothers style game, I'm talking about Microsoft here, or, what I would prefer, a Power Stone 2 style game, they could do some kind of hero shooter with Master Chief, Doomslayer, BJ Blazkowicz, Quake Ranger, Joanna Dark,
Indiana Jones,
Call of Duty dudes. Man, they
got the roster. I mean, they could do it.
Yeah, even Fallout and Elder Scrolls.
Here's what I want: I want like a Mario Party style game with all these characters.
I hate Mario Party so damn much.
I know, but like, imagine Master Chief having to like shake a soda can really hard. I really want that.
Spray all over his visor.
Yeah, I really want that. Make that happen, Phil.
I'm sure he'll get right on that. Let's get on to the news, I suppose. There has been some drama. I guess we'll kind of...
Some very weird drama that I don't understand.
So all the countries, I'd say, are looking into the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. One of those is Brazil, and Brazil's the most public about it. They kind of put all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes in all the other countries. Brazil just puts up on their website and shit. So they put out a questionnaire to Sony, Microsoft, as well as many other companies, EA, Ubisoft, Apple, Google, and said like, hey, we got some questions about your industry so that we can make an informed decision. We're getting as much background as we can. And all the other companies besides Sony and Microsoft were just like, we don't really care. Let them acquire Activision. What's it to us? No big deal.
Yeah, exactly. What?
Yeah, Apple like didn't answer shit. It's like,
I remember.
whatever.
I remember hearing that Apple was like, "Don't bother me with these questions" or something like that along those lines.
I mean, it wasn't that overt, but yeah, I mean, their answers were pretty much just like, leave us alone, fuck off, goodbye.
Yeah.
Which was pretty damn funny. But Microsoft and Sony, their answers, like, none of them were straight up lying or anything, but they were kind of snippy with each other. I think it started with Sony saying, boy, and this is going to be a lot of paraphrasing here, but it was, and actually I will bring up the article so that if I do need any exact quotes, I can get them, but it was kind of saying Call of Duty's in a league of its own as far as franchises go. Nobody else can compete. Nobody else can make anything that can compete. If this gets taken away from us, it's unfair and we're screwed. And well, maybe not we're screwed, but they said it'll definitely make a big hit. Give us a big hit, and it's bad. And by the way, Game Pass is also bad. It's just like all this weird. I mean, I guess not weird because like I don't think they're necessarily being dishonest, but they sure were exaggerating, I think.
It's not dishonest, but it's also like very clearly them trying to like throw a wrench in the deal.
Yeah.
I don't think losing Call of Duty is as big as a deal as it was, let's say, 6 years ago. But now it's the phrase "we can't compete with Call of Duty" is like, why aren't you trying? Like,
yeah. And the thing is, they're not going to lose Call of Duty. It sounds like Microsoft has promised to keep it over there.
Yeah, like, it's just a moot point. Like they own Bungie. Like it's like
right.
They could easily make shooters. It's not like the competitive. Like if you make a good shooter, people will play it.
Yeah,
like, it's like I don't understand why you think you can't compete because you're like it's like black. It's not black and white. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. And hey, Steam did not have Call of Duty for a long time. It didn't hurt them. Nintendo's never had. I think there was a couple on the Wii, but primarily they've never had Call of Duty. Yeah. It's not hurt them. Like it won't. It won't kill you. And like I said, it all is moot because Microsoft's not pulling Call of Duty from Sony, at least,
especially not Warzone. I don't think Warzone's ever not going to be on
sure, yeah. console. Like, it sure sounds like they're going to put all of them over there, even like the traditional ones, which surprises me still. And I don't know, I don't know if that's going to end up being a mistake, but
to me, it just makes sense because it's like when you have a shooter like Call of Duty, you want as much people playing as possible. Like that's just to me, it's like. It's an incentive to play if you can play it on anything. But,
yeah. I feel like they should be... I mean, look, this is not from what I want. I'm speaking in the perspective of what I think would be good for them. I think they should be using it as a weapon to get as many people as they can onto their platform. I don't think it does them a whole lot of...
And I get it. I get that side of things. But, like, I just look at it like, if everyone can play it, it's ultimately going to attract a lot of people to play it.
Yes. Yeah. I guess what I would counter that with if I were them would say, hey, when it's under us, we're going to put it on the cloud. Everyone can play it. But of course, cloud adaptation yet is not.
But we don't have a good enough internet structure for that to be like viable, I think.
Yeah, not yet. It's getting better all the time. And I hope it gets there at some point. And anyway, so that was Sony's first thing. And then Microsoft kind of volleyed back and said, like, what the fuck are you talking about? They'd said, like we mentioned, we're not taking Call of Duty off of Sony. They'd said it wouldn't be profitable to do so, which really surprised me because that's exactly what they're doing with stuff like Starfield and Elder Scrolls.
I'd be curious to know what the numbers on PlayStation. I think that's what it dials down to. Yeah. It's like... They have, let's for shits and giggles say 6 million people. 4 million of those are on PlayStation. Why would you take it off? Like, at that point. But I don't know if that's the case or not.
Right.
I don't think they're lying when they're saying it wouldn't be profitable. I just don't know how that works.
Yes. Call of Duty would make less money if they took it off PlayStation.
Yeah.
But, similar to Starfield, they might get new people into the Xbox ecosystem that it may end up being worth it. But apparently they don't think so.
With it being like multiplayer the way it is, maybe it's like the fear is if you take it off one system, that's just going to piss everybody off.
Yeah, maybe so.
So I don't know. I'm not Phil Spencer. I don't have like the financial reports in front of me, So who knows?
And the other thing they had to kind of, there was just a lot of snippiness and back and forth. But one of the things they had said here was Sony is blocking games from going to Game Pass, which
I 100% believe that.
What? The thing was, we knew this already.
Yeah.
The Resident Evil documents leaked like a year ago or so, and it had one of the things in there was essentially, hey, you can't be on Game Pass for. Sony was doing the marketing for Resident Evil, right? All the Resident Evil trailers ended with the PlayStation logo, and part of that was you can't be on Game Pass for like a year. So this kind of coming out now and people making a big deal about it was a little bit surprising to me. Like, we already knew this, and honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. If you're doing your marketing with Sony, I think that's kind of expected, right?
It kind of, honestly, it does feel like they're just kind of trying to put wrenches.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they just launched their Game Pass, and they're saying it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's weird. I don't.
Yeah, all their shit about Game Pass being, you can't make games and you can't make games that are as good as we do under that model and all that shit. That's all horse shit.
You can. I played them on Game Pass.
Yes.
That's the thing.
But the part about them, the games they're doing their marketing with, blocking from Game Pass, that of course that sucks, but I also don't really blame them that much. Like, hey, they're putting their money to market these games. Why would they just let them go ahead and do that?
Honestly, if I had the marketing Resident Evil, I'd do the same thing if I was
Absolutely.
Sony. That's such a huge series. And you have essentially not exclusivity, but you have a large corner of that market. Might as well at that point.
Absolutely. And now that Sony does have their platform, they and Microsoft might start putting clauses into their stuff like, hey, if you do your marketing with us, we get first, when your game is old enough that you're ready to put a subscription, we get first dibs at it and stuff like that. Which, ultimately, hey, I don't want to subscribe to both, but I think it's good if both are healthy.
Yeah,
right now,
it's good competition.
Yeah.
Look how big Stray was when it came out, because everyone who had that PlayStation Plus tier could play it.
Absolutely.
It works. It's not a stupid idea.
There are some great quotes in here from Sony that, if Microsoft wanted to use in their own marketing, would be pretty damn funny. Stuff like, they said, it would take another company years and years to make something as good as Game Pass, and stuff like, Call of Duty's a unique franchise that can't be matched, and all this stuff. And it'd be pretty hilarious if Microsoft starts putting those quotes in their advertising.
It would take a million years for Studio to make something as good as Call of Duty is so funny. That is hilarious.
So,
or it's admitting Game Pass is good as your gotcha.
I know.
What does that achieve?
Yeah. And especially when they're launching their own version right now. It's so weird. But this is all, these companies don't really console war with each other anymore on the surface. But, this is kind of lawyer stuff that we're not really supposed to be privy to, but we are in this case.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
We live in the USA, baby. We can see whatever lawyer thing we want to see.
This was Brazil, though.
Oh, right. Tom Henderson. I don't even know why I'm going to this one next because it's such a weird thing. This hurts my soul.
I don't even know why I'm talking about this one next. There's more important stuff, but whatever. Tom Henderson says Dead Island 2 is going to be re-revealed this year in Q4, which to me says Game Awards, right?
Yes, Game Awards.
I don't know what else that could be.
Man, like
who's the team now? It has jumped to like 4 different teams.
It's gotta be. I don't even know. It'll probably be Coffee Stain or whatever the Goat Simulator guys.
Coffee Stain did. Oh wait, I was gonna say I think they did Deep Rock Galactic, which is really good, but that might not be right.
No, the Goat Simulator guys, because they had the Shot for Trot remake of the trailer. Either they know or they're making it. I just don't care about zombies anymore. I don't give a shit. I like State of Decay. I played it a little bit. But I'm like, man, zombies are so played out. We need another zombie game.
By the way, when you search for Dead Island 2 on Wikipedia, it's listed as canceled video game.
It sure seems like it might be.
Well, no, it seems like it's coming back now.
Why do we need it? I don't think we need it.
That first one did shockingly well.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Me and my little brother played the shit out of that game. Like, that was a great game. I just don't, I think it's a decade too late. Or maybe 2 decades, if I'm being honest with myself.
Dam Buster Studios is now, looks like they're the ones who, this has jumped from Jaeger, wait, hang on. It went from, it was Jaeger first.
Yep, I remember that.
And then Sumo Digital.
Oh, God.
And now it's a Dam Buster Studios. What have they made?
Is this their first game?
They took over development. So they've been through this similar situation before where they got a game dropped in their laps of Homefront: The Revolution.
Oh, this is not good. This is not looking good for Dead Island 2.
Oh, wait, maybe not. No, wait, hang on. The studio was set up by Deep Silver on July 30th, 2014 to take over development of Homefront Revolution from Crytek UK.
No.
Oh yeah, which closed later that same day, and transferring all their employees to Dam Buster Studios.
Oh.
Yeah, Homefront Revolution's their only game.
That game sucks.
So yeah, that first Dead Island did extremely well. I never played it. I think I might have done a demo.
It's got the best multiplayer system in any game, I think. Like there's that co-op system you can drop in, drop out anytime.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I'm also kind of sick of zombies, but there's some like I say that, but I also really loved World War Z. And I don't know, man. I bet this game will still be big. I really do, regardless if it's good or not. Which it won't.
I'm praying on its downfall.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns. I'm doubling down. I don't want Dead Island 2.
Well, like it or not, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming regardless. But I can still die on this hill.
I guess what we actually should have talked about second is Evo.
Yes, I'd love to talk about Evo.
We are going to talk about it. Well, okay, what I have listed here is mostly the news stuff, because I'm not an esports guy, so I didn't really watch any like the tournaments. How about what did you watch and what did you like as far as the competition goes?
I saw Street Fighter Top 8. Awesome, crazy good. Those guys are killers. And I also watched the Guilty Gear Strive tournament, and I really loved that. That was great. All around, great Evo. Really good, high competitive play. Those guys are good. Like, they do things that I could never do in fighting games, but I still, in my heart, I know that one day I want to be good at fighting games. I say at 27 years old, and I'm far past the peak reflex required.
You're 27?
Yeah, man.
You're a youngin' to me.
I'm a youngin', dude.
People are buzzing about that Street Fighter one, especially. I hear a lot of people talking.
Nuts. It was awesome.
Now, you pay attention more to the FGC than I do, so let me ask you this. Is this probably Street Fighter V's last Evo because 6 is coming? Will they have both of 5 and 6 in, or is it probably 5's gone, right?
I think it's the last year on the main stage, that's for sure.
Okay.
because 6 is coming, and it looks like it's going to be better than 5 in most ways. So,
boy, 6 is looking really impressive.
like, that game, I'm looking at, and I'm like, I could probably get in on that early and get really good at it. Hopefully.
Well, look for Hunter at next year's Evo then. And
I'll be at Evo. I'll be fighting Daigo and Idom. It'll be great.
How'd Fatality do? Is he still in? That's about as good as that. Much as I know about esports.
I don't know. I don't remember him being there.
I'm kidding. But... He's not there. He's like 100 years old now, and he was a shooter guy anyway. But I remember, like, when I was growing up, he was kind of the MLG guy that everyone talked about.
What did he play?
I think he played Quake. I think.
Did he really?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. No, he was like... I vaguely remember that.
But we got a list of news here from Evo. Multiverses, their season 1 was outlined a little bit. So we're getting Rick and Morty, as we know. They also said, though, more characters, so it's not just going to be them in season 1, which is good news. Like, they sound like they might be hitting, at least for a little while. I don't think there's any way this is going to be sustainable long term, but it sounds like they might be hitting a new character every 2 weeks or so, which is fucking insane.
Yes. The one I'm holding out for is Stripe. I really want Stripe in the game.
Yes.
Can't wait.
I'm worried, though. It sounds like Stripe and Gizmo are going to be kind of a dual character, which I don't want.
Oh, man. Because, like, Gremlins 2 is, like, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So, like, and the first Gremlins to an extent. I like Gremlins 2 more. But, like, I don't know what you could do with Gizmo. Like...
You give him the Rambo bow. You give him the Barbie car as a down special. And then I would make him a support character, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'd make Gizmo support and I'd make Stripe an assassin.
If it were Stripe's gotta be like, he's gotta be crafty.
He's gotta be like fucking Wolverine. He's gotta be a little fast dude, just swiping around with his claws.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I'm gonna really dive in once this season drops. I kind of fell off the open, like, this section because I was like, this is great, but there's not a lot of rewards I want to get, so I'm just kind of waiting for the next battle pass.
I'm trying. I've been playing. You get when a character's level 8 is when you get all 4 perks.
Yes.
So I've mostly been playing against bots actually to get a bunch of my characters to level 8, and then I go online with them. Once I have 4 perks. Which actually I'm going to do that more tonight because I need to get Harley up in order to, like I said, this battle pass is about to end and I still got a little bit left to do. Anyway, so Rick, Morty, new characters. Also, there's going to be a ranked mode in season 1. That'll probably be there day 1.
It's not shocking.
And an arcade mode, which it sounds like it will have co-op too. I mean, everything in this game has co-op too. Yeah, that's something I'm very excited about.
Did they say if every character is going to have a unique ending?
No, they have not said. They pretty much all they said was kind of classic arcade mode with co-op. It's really all they said. And I sure hope they might have said that they're doing like PlayStation All-Stars style rivalries between characters.
Ooh, I like that.
But I might be wrong about that. Maybe I'm mixing that up with something else.
That's really my favorite part of that game. Like, they pitted the right characters against the characters I want to see.
Who would you make as LeBron's rival?
Part of me wants to say Bugs Bunny, but I think the funnier answer might be let's see, Rain Dog.
Yeah, that would be good. Rain Dog has, if you go on their website, Rain Dog has like this crazy backstory. That's like weird.
Yeah. It's like that's another thing that I really like about this game is they put the bios in the game. So like if you don't know anything about a character, you can kind of get like a brief summary.
It sounds like Rain Dog's backstory might be tied in a never-ending story, I should say. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. Also, we're getting Falcor. Confirmed.
King of Fighters 15 is getting crossplay.
Yes, a game that is dead.
Is it really?
It seems like it is. I don't ever hear anyone talk about it.
Oh shit! I thought it was doing well.
It might be. I don't know. I like from the people I listen to about fighting games, like they don't talk about it at all.
That's
like,
a bummer. I mean, well, on one hand, it's not a bummer because
crossplay is always good.
Well, yeah, but it's not a bummer if it's dead because SNK is now owned by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, so I don't really want him to be getting
that bums
rewards.
Me out so hard, especially with the story that's coming later.
Yeah, I know. But King of Fighters 15 sounds really cool. It's been on my wish list for a while. I'm just not good at fighting games, but I love SNK's kind of crazy backstory stuff. And actually, I forgot to write down, but they did also announce a season 2 that will include Kim. They said Kim Kwapwan. Damn it, Kwapwan, I think. Whatever, Kim. Kim is going to be in season 2, and Shingo is going to be in season 2.
Shingo.
Let's see. Did they
ever say?
I'd forgotten the last. I guess it's the last or second to last team in season 1 is Team Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, they got Darlie Dagger, I think is one of them.
Yeah, Darlie Dagger, Nakaruru, and Halmaru.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones you want.
No, see, I don't know, because I didn't play this newest Samurai Showdown, which is what Darlie Dagger's from, so, like, she, unfortunately, like, I'm sure she's great, but I have no connection with her. I wanted Galford, because he's, like...
Galford, yeah.
To me, is the classic 3 is Halmaru, Nakaruru, and Galford with this little dog. Maybe they didn't want to program the dog. No, they probably just wanted a new face.
It's also, like... If the Samurai Showdown community really loves Darlie, so I guess I understand why you pick her, because she's like the fan favorite at the moment.
I do too. Man, they could put Galford in on. Well, they're not going to. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But actually, I forgot to write down also that Samurai Showdown is getting another thing announced.
Rollback.
Samurai Showdown is getting rollback netcode. Also,
yes, everyone's very happy about that.
Yeah,
like this Evo has been the Evo of rollback.
Yes.
Which is good, because it feels like people are finally starting to understand it's the best way to go.
Well,
I'm hoping Tekken 8 has it when we get to that.
Well, let's go ahead and jump down to Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball Fighters... I hate calling it Dragon Ball Fighters, because it's Fighter Z, whatever.
It's Fighter Z.
But it's getting a next-gen version for PlayStation and Xbox, and also it's getting rollback.
I find that announcement interesting, because they're like, the specific wording is, the game is perfect as it is, but we're adding rollback on top.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing any more characters, which honestly I'm glad about, because like I cannot, if they had another Goku, I might have gone insane.
Oops, all Gokus.
It's oops, all Gokus.
Yeah, and it sounds like rollback is not going to be put in the Switch version or the old gen versions. I just don't think that was possible.
I don't think there's enough people playing those.
Well, yeah, that too. But yeah, I just don't think those machines could handle running it. But
no.
It's going to be in the next gen versions, and I imagine the PC version as well. I didn't write that down, but probably there too.
The fact that Street Fighter 6 has rollback is so huge to me that it feels like everyone's going to have it now.
Well, we can jump to Street Fighter 6 because Juri and Kimberly were revealed.
Yes, and Juri is showing feet for free.
I was going to say, how do you feel about feet?
I love Juri's feet.
Oh,
okay. I do. That's the only feet I love.
Love everything about Juri. This was a rad trailer.
Yes, it's awesome. I love Juri gets on her phone to shitpost on Twitter.
Yes.
Essentially. Man, Juri's cool. Kimberly's awesome. That's a cool character.
It really is. It feels like a lot of times when, these companies are trying to make a young, hip character, they can really miss the mark, and I don't think they did with Kimberly. She's going over well. The way they missed the mark with Luke. I don't think that's happening here.
Yeah, like, it's... Luke has kind of grown on me a little bit. Like, at first...
I was going to say, people are starting to turn around on Luke, but when he was first revealed... People...
He looked like he said some bad things on Twitter 10 years ago.
Right. And they say he's like a private military contractor and shit, so you're like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
But Kimberly looks great. She has cool, like, ninja things. Like, she can set traps with her spray paint bottles that are, like, essentially smoke bombs. Or, like, actual bombs, rather.
Yeah.
Great character. I'm excited to play as her, because I think that's the character I really want, because I like the idea of, like, controlling the area around you in a Street Fighter game. And that's been done before, but, like, for her, it seems like it's really interesting.
I don't think I've ever seen a character in a fighting game use, like, spray paint as their gimmick. I think that was
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a unique idea. And, like, if Sega ever did a Smash Brothers, they could put some Jet Set Radio people in there to do that. But other than that...
Yeah, they could.
You had mentioned Tekken. There was a Tekken teaser of some kind. It started with was kind of a compilation of the whole franchise, and it ended with
The smile.
well,
That damn smile.
It ended with Kazuya's ending from Tekken 1, and then it did a cut into a new model of Kazuya, or a flashy new thing. Now, at first there was some confusion about, hey, are they remaking Tekken 1, or is it could possibly be Tekken Tag Tournament 3, but no, it looks like this is Tekken 8. And Tekken 8 was in the NVIDIA leak a while back, so 99% sure this is Tekken 8.
My favorite thing about Tekken 8 has been all the Harada has a YouTube channel. It's like Harada's Bar or something. And it's really good. I highly recommend you watch it. And you can kind of see Harada like poking people for ideas when he interviews people, because he had the virtual fighter guy on. He was really interested in like the free aspect of it. He's like, how many units did you do? Blah blah blah. He was like really pressing him.
Yeah. And
it seems like Tekken 8 might be free to play. Like from those conversations alone.
I'll tell you something. After Multiverses hit 10 million players, which I didn't write that down, but they hit 10 million players, I bet everybody right now who's making a fighting game is thinking about it.
Yeah. And as a Tekken fan, I would love a free-to-play Tekken. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Actually, we didn't even mention, Harada was at this thing. He didn't.
He was.
I don't think he even introduced that trailer, I'm pretty sure.
He didn't.
But after it aired, he just kind of, all the announcers were freaking out, and then Harada just kind of popped up behind him, grabbed him by the shoulders, and started shaking him.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't say a damn thing. He didn't get on the mic and say, oh, here's what that means. We're doing Tekken 8. We're excited about it. Nothing. Didn't say a damn word. Just shakes the announcers and leaves. And that's it.
This is Harada's behavior. This is how he is. And I love him for it.
He's a madman. Gaming needs more insane developers. Ever since Dennis Dyack left, we don't have enough.
Yeah, we don't have, but we need the good insane, not the horrifying to work with insane.
yeah. Unfortunately, that's usually the flip side. But I don't think there's any Harada horror stories out there. I think he's okay.
There's Harada, and then there's Itagaki threatening people with samurai swords and sexually harassing his secretaries.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's the crazy we don't need.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, yeah, Multiverses hit 10 million players, but also Guilty Gear Strive has hit 1 million in sales. That's obviously not a free-to-play game.
Very good for Guilty Gear, because I love that game.
I think it's the best-selling Guilty Gear, right?
It is. Yeah. But that game is so good, and more people need to play it, and more people need to experience my favorite fighting game character of the last decade, Gold Lewis. He walks around with an alien in a coffin, and he uses it to attack people. It's great.
Nice.
It's awesome.
The most shocking thing to me, and the one I'm probably, I guess I'd say the most excited about, after, and I didn't write down how many years, but I want to say close to 2 decades, we're going to get a new Fatal Fury / Garu Mark of the Wolves game. That's insane.
So, I'm only 27, as I said earlier in the show, and so I did not play this game when it released. I kind of discovered it afterwards.
Me too.
Through friends who liked it. This game's fucking awesome.
Yes.
And I can't wait for the sequel. Fatal Fury's awesome. It makes me feel a little sad because of the Saudi thing, but at the same time, it's a new Garo.
Yeah, well, fucking. I was talking about this the other day. The Saudis, they bought all of SNK, but also they're invested in almost every publisher now. Unfortunately, you can think, well, I'll just boycott SNK. Well, if you're buying any games at this point, you are unfortunately indirectly supporting them. So.
There's at this point, by all means, do what you want with your money.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not going to tell you shouldn't, but
I'm not happy about it.
No, I'm not either, believe me. But it's very difficult to ethically buy games.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately.
Well, now we've brought down the Fatal Fury segment. I don't want to do that too much.
No. The return of Geese Howard.
Yes.
The greatest character in fighting games.
Well, maybe not, because he wasn't in Garu.
He wasn't, but he was in that artwork, wasn't he?
I don't think so. I thought it was Rock Howard. I thought it was.
Oh, it might have been Rock. Yeah. Right.
This was, so I actually, got into it way like you talk about getting in later. I got into it really when Terry got added to Smash. Is kind of when I was like,
Yes.
I don't know enough about this franchise, and then I started. There are so many Fatal Fury retrospectives on YouTube.
There is.
Matt McMuscles has one. Thorgy has one.
I watched the Thorgy one,
yeah,
actually, and that one was really good.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of when I started getting into Fatal Fury, and then also, King of Fighters by extension. And more, and I'm talking more because I'm just so bad at playing fighting games, but I'm more into knowing the lore and the character than actually playing this stuff. But, yeah, man, I just can't believe they're doing that after 20-something years.
It's exciting.
It really is.
It's very exciting. It's always exciting to go back to Southtown. Let's be real.
Yes.
We all love Southtown.
Yeah. And so I guess it's going to be Gauro 2, and I guess it's Croc Howard was in the artwork. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to delays.
No.
I got a bunch of them here, and we can. I guess we'll take them one by one. Arc Raiders got delayed. Not a surprise.
That one,
a little.
There wasn't a lot of gameplay for that,
No.
was there? There was just that one showcase they did.
They did one trailer at the Game Awards last year, and that's been it. But what is kind of surprising here, the reason why it's getting delayed, they were transparent about it, and I don't love the reasons, but they were developing Arc Raiders, which was a PvE. It was a Destiny-like, at least as far as format, not in setting and stuff, and they were also making a PvP focused game, and they had said the PvP focused game kind of came together quicker than they thought, and now they're going to release that first, and they're not a big enough team to do both at the same time, so they're going to do that one first. And Arc Raiders, it got pushed back a little bit till next year.
I kind of get it. If you gotta put something out to make money.
Yes. Yeah. And I got no problem with that part. The part that does worry me is they also said, we also think we're going to be putting PvP into Arc Raiders also. That I'm not so crazy about.
After seeing that trailer, I don't know how that worked.
Yeah.
Because that seems like a thing where its strongest thing is you work together.
Yes. And I'm a firm believer that PvP is holding back Destiny's potential, and now I worry that's going to happen here. At some point, I'm going to make a full video talking about all the changes I personally would make in Destiny, and that would be a big one.
I got no problem with PvP, but it seems like in some games they just kind of
right in a game where I don't know, kind of where you have a persistent character and it's all about the RPG element and the loot collecting element, and especially when in a Destiny game where I would like my character to be doing as much crazy, wild, powerful stuff as possible, and it feels like they're always like, well, we can't get too nuts because then it wouldn't be balanced for PvP. And I'm just fucking, who cares? Let me get super powerful. Give me the power fantasy.
The thing about the Crucible that really bothers me is it also feels weirdly out of place for Destiny.
Totally.
In the world. I'm like, why does this exist? Why would they need this?
Totally. And I feel like it's just coming off of, after Bungie did Halo, it's like, well, people expect this from us. We have to do it. Now at this point, I think
I would just like them to make a PvP game at that point.
Well, they are fucking. I was looking into this at some point, kind of all the job listings at Bungie and stuff. How many different projects they're working on now? They've got 7 different projects going right now.
That's not very shocking. They're a larger team, aren't they?
Yeah, they're huge and they're growing massively. That was
I think I saw somewhere
they're moving into a headquarters that's I think 4 times the size of their current one. God.
That's how profitable Destiny is, Dave.
Yes, and they got a big investment from NetEase, and now of course it's got bought by Sony. But
yeah, they got all the Sony money now, so we're fucking good.
This one's heartbreaking to me and you. Marvel's Midnight Suns got delayed.
I was so mad when I saw that text. I was like,
and this one. They didn't put a date on it. They said it's gonna be this fiscal year, which for them ends in March. So it could still be this year technically, although I'm kind of hopeful.
I have a feeling it's gonna be February 20th.
Yeah. It also seems like the Switch version and last gen versions might have gotten dropped. They didn't really mention them anymore.
I'm gonna be honest. Thank God. Thank God.
I would not play it on Switch. I'm probably going to play this on the Steam Deck, but it does feel, I think
I'm playing this on PC.
I think turn-based tactic games work well on Switch, so
Yeah.
that'd be kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I'm gonna play this on Steam Deck. I hope it has as much mod support as XCOM 2 did, but Marvel might not want that. They might not want you to be able to make Captain America nude or whatever.
I get why they make the last gen versions, but I'm in the firm camp of don't make them.
Last gen, I agree. Switch, I wish they could do it.
Switch is different because it's in its own generation.
Yeah,
I get that. But like, I'm always like good when I see that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's just me.
I'm with you mostly. They don't bother me because you can scale these games pretty well. Like even Destiny's on last gen, and I think that game is absolutely gorgeous. But if somebody wants to drop it, I don't got a problem with it either.
My main problem with it is it does seem to cause a lot of delays.
Yes,
like it does seem like more of a problem than it's worth.
Absolutely. Warhammer 40K Darktide got delayed. That one's heartbreaking to me too.
That one kind of sucks because like it does seem like that's a really cool game that's gonna just not be out sooner.
Well, and what really sucks for me personally is they said they gave a date on the PC version, which I think is November. I can't remember exactly now.
November.
But then then they said the Xbox One's gonna follow shortly behind. No date on that yet.
That's so depressing.
It really is. That's where I'm gonna play the game, and there's still like we talked about this last episode. No crossplay. Hey, maybe this will be what it takes to put crossplay in. That's what I really would be hopeful for. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that'd be lovely, because I'm excited for that game. They just did a closed alpha last weekend. I signed up for it, but I didn't get in, and it's under NDA anyway, so even if I did, I couldn't talk about it. But so since it's under NDA, no details yet, but it is playable at least. Metal Slug Tactics, speaking of SNK, that got delayed to 2023.
That's a bummer too, because I was looking for that one.
Me too. And then just this morning, Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, that one makes the most sense to me because like they did show gameplay, but it's like the marketing would have ramped up by now if it was ready.
You know
what I mean?
What was it scheduled for October?
It was scheduled. They said winter. They said December 2022.
Oh, okay.
It is now August, and they had no other trailers but the gameplay showcase and the virtual trailer.
Yeah. To
me, it feels like they're worried that it's going to get cannibalized.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to find the right place to drop it.
Yeah, it could have been. I think a lot of people are trying to get out of the way of God of War. Could have been that.
Yeah.
But, that's not a game I care about. Because I've never been a big Harry Potter guy. And then,
I'm interested in it, but, like, I'm interested in a way of, like, what would an open world Harry Potter game be like?
I read the first 4 in, like, 7th grade and kind of stopped.
Not into it.
It's not that I didn't even like dislike them. I kind of had a grudge against them for a while because they kind of unseated Animorphs at that time, and Animorphs like the greatest thing in the world.
Fair enough.
And so I was pissed off about that. And so then I kind of read it. I was like, yeah, these are all right, but didn't do it. And I never watched any of the movies. And then of course, more recently, J.K. Rowling is piece of garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm just not super interested. Let's move to. We had talked about this in our first recording. Jeff Grubb had talked about Eidos Montreal.
Yep.
They want to do, now that they're out of Square Enix, or I guess that acquisition isn't complete yet, but they will soon be out of Square Enix. They want to do a Deus Ex that will, quote, do what Cyberpunk couldn't do.
Yes, put it in my veins.
But then Jason Schreier came out and said, yes, that's true, but they're doing a new IP first. So Deus Ex is probably going to be down the line a little bit.
I want to know what the new IP is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be sci-fi, I doubt it. But, like, I'm interested in seeing, like, are they going to go back to, like, horror type stuff with, like, because, like, that's the studio that made Legacy of Kain for a while.
I thought that was, Crystal did that.
That's Crystal D.
They did Thief.
They did Thief.
Yeah.
So, I wonder what they're going to do. I don't think it's going to be more sci-fi or cyberpunk or anything, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah, they could really use a win. Deus Ex and Guardians of the Galaxy were both, beloved by critics and audiences, but didn't really catch on in a big way, or at least not to Square's expectations. So it'd be nice to see them really
do
hit it out of the park.
new.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing another Marvel game. I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt. I mean, I don't know if Embracer has any kind of deal with Marvel. Although Marvel seems to be signed up with almost everybody.
I guarantee you, there's dudes in Marvel like at every studio. Yeah. Like they've talked to everybody. I bet.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, Embracer. Because they've kind of feels like came out of nowhere and acquired so much so fast. There's a lot of people who are really skeptical of them. They seem to be doing good stuff over there. I think mostly. They seem to mostly be leaving their people to do what they want to do. They
care about the IPs. That's what they like.
What's that?
They care about the IPs they own.
Yeah.
Like they're like, we want you to make these games because people love them.
Yeah.
And like that's what I want.
They got Gearbox and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands turned out well. So I think Eidos Montreal and Crystal are gonna find more success there than they had at Square.
Excited for more Gex.
Yes.
Let's do it.
All the Gex. Speaking of, I think this is under Embracer, right? Koch Media or Koch Media, whatever you want to call them before.
Thank God they changed it.
They are no more.
The cock is gone. R.I.P. the cock.
No more cock. Put the cocks away.
Please title that the episode.
Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm writing that down. They have changed their name to... All right, so... I'm going to spell this. They're changing the name to... Now I lost it. Shit. Plaion, which I would say Playon, but they say no, it's Play On, is how it's pronounced.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
That's just that's corporate bullshit right there.
Yeah, it really is. They'd said that,
but thank God they changed the name because that is not a great name.
And that's what I was getting into. They'd said the reason we did this because people were having trouble pronouncing it. They didn't know if it was Coach or Cock or whatever. I also kind of feel like maybe. So when I first saw their name, I'd wondered if they were associated with the Koch brothers. Which they're not. Yeah. They're completely separate. But I'd wonder if they don't want that association anymore, if that's part of the reason they did it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So anyway, they're now Playon, and I believe they are under the Embracer umbrella, right? They're part of Embracer.
I thought they were their own thing.
Oh shit! Now I gotta look it up. But
I thought Koch Media.
Yes.
I thought they were their own thing.
You might be right. I thought they were under Embracer.
Because they were like, don't they have? Yeah, they have Deep Silver, Warhorse, Milestone, and Fish Labs.
Yeah, but they're Koch Media's parent company. Koch Media's parent company, Koch Media Holding, was acquired by Swedish holding company Embracer Group as of February 2018.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So that's wow, they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I knew that Dark Horse was under Embracer. So yeah, I mean, man, Embracer's massive, absolutely massive.
Speaking of that Dark Horse thing, we haven't seen any games come out of that.
I don't know if it will be. Like, I think they're just bought them for the comic IPs.
Sure, I mean they have a lot of good like comic IPs, so I understand the sale, but like I was kind of hoping maybe we see like a Hellboy game or something.
Yeah. Do they have Spawn, or is that...
Spawn is Image.
Okay.
Dark Horse is mostly, like... they have Hellboy and, like, The Goon.
Oh, The Goon.
The Goon. I'd love a Goon game. That'd be great. And it's mostly, like, IP stuff. Like, they published the Transformers comics for a little bit. Like, for very briefly. And I think they had Dungeons and Dragons at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a good company. They put out bangers a lot.
Well, speaking of bangers, the biggest banger, Kirby's Dream Buffet, is out August 17th. What's the date today?
It is August 14th.
So a few days away. I'm very excited for that.
Is this free or is this...
No.
You have to pay for it?
No, it's 20. Yeah. I think it's $25. I was kind of hoping it would be free if... I've been really considering upgrading to the expansion pass because of... one of the things you get with it, you get the Mario Kart courses, and you also get the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion thing, and a bunch, the N64 games and stuff too. So,
Sure.
And I was kind of hoping they would throw in Dream Buffet into that, but they did not. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna play this because like I don't know. I felt pretty satisfied with my Switch lately. Like I got Xenoblade, but like what else? There's not a whole lot coming that I really want to buy on it. Like
they have a like I'm not saying I'm into all these games, but they have a loaded back half of the year.
they do. They do.
Live Alive and Xenoblade just came out. This Kirby game is about to come out, and Mario Kart DLCs happen all the time. And then Bayonetta, Pokemon Scarlet and Nexus, and Splatoon 3. Is there any others? And, there's also possibly either the Metroid Prime 1 remake or the dual pack of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I'm not into all those games, but that's a loaded fucking lineup for them.
It is. And plus we don't know if they're pretty big on shadow drops too. We don't know if they're gonna be oh, here's Metroid Prime trilogy or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to be just Metroid Prime 1, unfortunately, not the trilogy.
That's fine. That's a great game.
Sure, yeah.
But Bayonetta 3 is also coming. So,
right.
There's stuff to play on this one.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very excited for Dream Buffet, and I think I'm going to stream the hell out of it. So look forward to that this week. Speaking of, let's just move into Splatoon Direct then, too. Are you a Splatoon guy?
I love Splatoon.
Okay. I have a up and down relationship with Splatoon. I've been fooled twice now. I love the look of Splatoon. I adore the music of Splatoon, and I always feel like I'm gonna get into them. And both times I've bought the games, and it just didn't
don't like it.
Work for me. I don't know what it is about the flow of swimming to reload your ink, and it just has never clicked with me. And I also got really mad at Splatoon 2 how they had the horde mode Salmon Run was on a schedule. You couldn't just play it whenever the fuck you wanted.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't understand why they did
I made a whole video about how pissed off that made me back when that came out. But that's over now. You can play Salmon Run whenever you want in Splatoon 3. And I think I'm ready to get fooled again. I
love all the new characters.
Yeah. Big man, the big stingray.
Big man. I like Mr. Coco. That guy who's a meep.
I think the bow weapon is really that's where I was like, oh, okay, that feels like maybe the first weapon Splatoon that looks like something I would enjoy playing with. And so that might be the thing that really gets me, because like a lot of my weapons, like I like a good pulse rifle, like the battle rifle in Halo, a lot of pulse rifles in Halo, and there's nothing like that in Splatoon. So maybe that's part of the reason the game's never clicked with me, because I never found a weapon that really felt good with me. But the bow looks really like it might be the one for me. They also had dual katanas in there that look kind of neat. Salmon Run is available anytime. It's got a new campaign. I do feel like before this comes out, I didn't write down the date, but there's a beta test essentially at the end of this month. And I'll try that out too to make sure I'm not being a fool here. What was I going to say? Oh, I do think before it comes out, I'm going to try to do the campaign, at least, of Splatoon 2, and maybe the Octo expansion as well. Mm-hmm. I'll probably stream that. So that's coming up soon.
Can't wait.
There was a Pokemon Presents video as well. Did you watch this one?
I did. It looks awesome. Yeah. I really, like I said, I wasn't really looking forward to Switch games, but like Splatoon 3 and Pokemon are two I'm really keeping my eye on.
I had this video on, but honestly, I wasn't paying close attention. What was exciting about it?
It's taking a lot of aspects from Arceus, which is a great game that is probably going to be a lot of Game of the Year list, I think. That game is really good.
When I, earlier this year, when I just started my Twitch channel, that was the first game I ever streamed.
It's so good. It's a great game. They got the new Terrorizing, or whatever it's called, thing where you can change your Pokemon's types.
Right, that crystal thing.
Yes, and it's just It looks like an actual console Pokemon game. Like they're really improving upon it.
I'm still curious. They have been showing some co-op modes, but I don't think they really like detailed them very much. Like, I don't want to know, can I play the whole game from start to finish in co-op? I doubt it, but that'd be great.
I don't think you will be able to.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like it's Sword and Shield. I didn't play, but from what I understand, there were some areas you could go to where it was kind of an open field area. I kind of feel like they'll have those, and that will be what you can play co-op, and maybe nothing else. But I hope I'm wrong about that.
I'm not going to cross out a co-op Pokemon game in the future, but I think this one may not be full co-op.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but I just wish they would detail and tell us what the hell's going on. You know, Temtem's coming out this year, and that's a full MMO.
Yes, Temtem is coming out this year, and I can't wait.
I think it's really soon.
It's like next month, I think.
Jesus.
Yes.
Let's stay on this Nintendo train. We got 2 more Nintendo stories. They did their quarterly results because everyone is right now. They had 4 first-party games sell over 1 million copies just in the last quarter.
That's not a shock.
Those were Nintendo Switch Sports, 4.84 million. That's crazy. That's a game that just felt
That's nuts to me.
In the conversation came and went, but it's just showing you there's like a whole segment of, you know, people just buying games for their families and not talking about them on Twitter and Reddit and places like that, but they're just buying it and loving it.
They thought it was going to be on par with Switch Sports. That's the thing. Like, and from what I hear, it's not. Yeah, Wii Sports. Yeah. So, from what I understand, it's really not this. It's clearly a sequel, but it's not like the same in quality, which is like testament to how much the game sold, because they sold it based on a connection to Wii Sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it seems like it doesn't matter, like if it's good of quality or not. And in some ways, just these, there's a lot of money to be made selling games to families that I don't think we talk about enough, kind of in our circles, because we just don't care about that kind of thing.
No, we don't care.
Yeah, but boy, those things do well, and like Sony and Microsoft are not hitting that market.
They're not.
Mario Strikers Battle League is another one, hit 1.91. Kirby and the Forgotten Land hit 1.88 just in that quarter, and this one. So Switch Sports and Mario Strikers released in that quarter, so those were new games. Kirby released the quarter before. It's at 4.53 million lifetime.
I have heard this is the best-selling Kirby game of all time.
It's really good. I'm about halfway through it. I should probably buckle down and finish it. And then this one is just astounding. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe hit 1.48 in the last quarter, and that puts its lifetime total at 46.82 million.
Holy shit.
For a game that was originally a Wii U game.
Isn't this like one of the best-selling games like ever?
Yeah, it's up there, and it's Switch's best-selling game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's at one point it looked like Animal Crossing might catch it, but Animal Crossing's starting to slow down. I mean, Animal Crossing's now on this list. It didn't sell 1 million in the last quarter
because they're not doing any updates with it. That's why
that doesn't help. Switch's hardware, they sold 3.43 million in the last quarter. Their lifetime total now is 111 million. 0.08.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it could. It's a long shot, but it could possibly catch the PS2.
It could.
Especially like if they do. I don't think they'll do a Switch Pro at this point, but if they did, man, they'd hit it. Like,
I think they're going to do a Switch 2 before they do a Switch
Pro.
Yeah,
I would rather that too, and I'm sure they would also, but the Switch Pro would definitely make them hit the PS2. It would be the best-selling console of all time if they did do it. Mm-hmm. Software, 41.41 million last quarter, and 863.59 million total lifetime to date. That's a lot of games. Mm-hmm. Nintendo doing just fine. Super Punch-Out doing just fine.
It is.
So there have been 2 modes hidden in this game for 28 years. And it's
nuts. It's the craziest thing.
Just got discovered now. There's a mode that lets you fight any character in the game in any order, because you usually have to go through the bosses in a linear order. Mm-hmm. This mode lets you fight whoever you want, but also a 2-player mode, which does the same thing what I just said, but now that boss can be controlled by a second player. That's nuts.
It is pretty crazy. I never in my life would I ever utter the words 2-player Punch Out.
Right.
But somehow here we are.
And this game is on Switch Online, so I mean you could just get on there and do this now.
You could.
It does require there's some steps so you can look up the exact way, but it does require you to have the second controller hold a certain sequence of buttons at the right time and stuff. So it's not pretty easily accessible.
It's pretty crazy that that's in the game that way.
Well, I mean that's the reason it hadn't been found for so long, I guess.
Yeah. Damn.
Boy, I would like the Next Level Games Punch Out on Wii was pretty good. I would like for them to do that again.
Yeah. I'd like a new Punch Out game. Why not?
THQ Nordic, also under Embracer.
Yes.
They had a showcase just yesterday. We're not going to name all the games. There was 14 of them, and honestly, I forget the names of them. There was some... That one, like... what was it called? Space for Sale looked kind of cute, too. I didn't write that one down, though. But the big ones here, Alone in the Dark.
Yes.
This is more your style thing than mine. I'm not a horror guy, but...
I am so excited for this thing.
This is a remake of the original one, right? Not a reboot?
So, I was looking at it. I thought it was, but it's taking the elements, a bunch of elements from the original MS-DOS game and kind of throwing them into a new game.
Okay.
This looks awesome. It's got that kind of weird voice acting thing, but I kind of adore it about that, because it's like, man, there's not a whole lot of like good horror games anymore. It's mostly just these indie horror games that are like Poppy's Playtime and stuff, and I'm just not about that.
Resident Evil's still chugging along.
Yeah, and this seems more Resident Evil Within style. So.
And it's possible, we haven't seen one in so long. If you're a kid out there, you might not even know the name Alone in the Dark, but this was...
You don't.
If you like Resident Evil, you have this series to thank for. This was the precursor to it.
Yeah, the first one on DOS was the very first survival horror game. And it was awesome. Cool. It was really cool.
Recreation, which is from, I believe, are they called Three Fields Entertainment? Is that correct?
Yeah.
These were the guys that made Dangerous Driving and Dangerous Golf, and they had talked about for a long time they were doing Dangerous Driving 2. It appears that
no longer.
Well, it appears that it morphed into this game, that this is Dangerous Driving 2 under a different name, it looks like.
Yeah.
Probably because I don't think THQ Nordic published the first one. And so this is... And there's a lot of the, if you don't know Three Fields Entertainment, there's a lot of the people who used to work on Burnouts. So it's kind of in that style where it's an arcade racer. It's silly as hell. It's a lot about crashing. And this one seems to be a lot about making your own tracks.
Yes.
Crazy.
Like Trackmania.
Yeah. Crazy ass tracks too. With loop-de-loops and spirals and all kinds of nutty stuff. And it looked like in the trailer that people were editing the track as other people were racing on it, so the track might be able to change while it's being raced on.
There's going to be so many griefers.
That's kind of actually... It seems like Roblox has had a big influence.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, so far in the right ways as far as how Recreation's going to work.
Not the super exploitation way.
It also sounds like that's the direction they're going to go with Skate, where it's a lot of they're going to give you the tools to build your own shits. And Halo, actually, there's there have been a lot of leaks about the Forge mode in Halo Infinite, and I think all of us kind of expected when Halo Infinite come out, they said it was going to be a live service game. It was going to be, Call of Duty style, where, hey, we're going to put out maps every couple months and stuff. No, it looks like what they've been doing is making Forge mode absolutely fucking insane. If you haven't seen these leaks, they're nuts. You can change how the weapons react and how the vehicles react. You can make a gun that shoots warthogs and stuff. Just
That's
insane
awesome.
things. And it seems like
that is amazing.
Seems like that's the path forward to Halo. It's not 343 making a bunch of maps, but instead giving you this crazy tool for us to make our own maps. And
imagine turning a corner and seeing a warhog fly at you.
Yes. So I think there's going to be a lot of games that are. It's a lot about giving the tools to the community, and that's going to be their path forward.
I think that's the way to do it, honestly.
Yeah. There was a SpongeBob game. Are you a SpongeBob guy? I'm not. I'm too old.
I love SpongeBob, but like I'm at it. I don't need to play the games.
I hear people liked Battle for Bikini Bottom.
That game's great, yeah.
And this looked like, from somebody who didn't play it and really knows not shit, but just from watching the trailer, it just looked like it's going to be along that style.
Yeah, I'm glad they're actually going to make a full-fledged SpongeBob game again. It's like the ones that they made after Battle for Bikini Bottom are kind of trash. Like, they're not good.
I didn't write down the name of this new game. I forget it, but whatever. SpongeBob game's coming.
It's got Squidward as a caveman. What more can you want?
And then the final thing that they closed their trailer. It was weird. They did credits and then they announced this last thing. It was like, I bet a lot of people have missed this.
I'm going to make a lot of people hate me with my opinion.
Oh, I think a lot of people are going down that direction. Anyway, it's a South Park game, which is actually really funny because if you remember, Stick of Truth was going to be published by THQ, and THQ went out of business, and they got auctioned off to Ubisoft, and now it's back at THQ Nordic.
So funny. I kind of hate South Park, so I'm good.
I loved it when I watched it, like when it was new, and I just kind of fell off. I don't hate it, and I'm anything against it. I'm just so far out of date.
I'm so annoyed by South Park. I just can't. I can't do it.
And I do think I saw the Book of Mormon came here twice, and I saw it both times. I think those guys are still brilliant, even if I haven't watched their stuff in so long. I liked Stick of Truth a lot. The second one I didn't
Fractured Butthole.
What's it?
It's called the Fractured Butthole.
Yes. Yep. I didn't really play it, even though I should, because I like superheroes and I like that they changed the combat to be more of like, on a grid, tactical. So that seems like it'd be even more up my alley. So I should probably play that. Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, all they said was they put up a logo and said South Park, and that's kind of it. Is this going to be another RPG? Don't know. Are they going to try to do a different genre? Don't know. Oh, this is though developed internally at South Park Studios, so
that's weird.
Yeah, they're not a game maker. At least they hadn't been before. So don't know how that's going to be.
Yeah, I'm good.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Which of these can you talk about?
Let's see what's left.
Do you like the Sonic movies?
I'll talk about Sonic movies.
All right, the Sonic movie. All right, the third Sonic movie got a date for December 20th, 2024, and also the producer in that movie is also gonna make a Pac-Man live action
Pac movie.
You talk about those. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
So, the main thing we're all thinking with these Sonic movies, right, is Sonic going to show feet in this one? And I think we're finally going to get to the point where we're going to see Sonic's feet. And guys, we're all excited. We all love Sonic's feet. Like, we're as the fan base of Sonic the Hedgehog, you gotta love feet. It's just a thing. So Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in this one probably. Spoilers for Sonic 2. Yeah. I'm excited. I haven't seen Sonic 2 yet, but I did see that Shadow is like the post credits. So, these movies are great. I don't know how I feel about a live action Pac-Man movie. I don't know what you do for a live action Pac-Man movie because there's nothing there. It's just a bunch of like pixels on a screen, essentially. Not like Sonic, where like there's sort of lore you can take from. They try to make a story. It's just, I'm excited for it. I'm hoping it's as good as 1. Like I said, I haven't seen 2 yet. I hope the Pac-Man movie though takes cues from the Pac-Man cartoon. That was awesome. They should do that.
I don't know that they will. I kind of feel like it's
sure
gonna
hope
be
so.
just like the Sonic movies. I've not seen either Sonic movie. I don't know. They people say they turn out better than I expected. I just never was interested, I guess. And I don't I like some Sonic games, so it's not even like I'm not a hater of the character. Just
it's a thing of like I feel like they gotta pick for the right stuff.
Yeah.
I hope Sonic kisses a human in this one.
Ooh, yes, we can all hope for that.
Because since Sega's taken her away from us.
Tencent and Logitech are making a cloud or a handheld device that plays games off the cloud. It apparently will work with Xbox Cloud games and in GeForce Now.
It feels
probably other
it
services.
Feels a little.
Interestingly enough, Stadia
early.
not listed.
Good. It feels a bit early for this. Not gonna lie.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I think cloud's getting there. I really do. Like I have limited experience with it, but I've been pretty happy with the Xbox service at least.
I just think building a console based around it right now is a little too soon.
I don't think this is going to be the last one. I think there's going to be a ton of these, as a matter of fact.
Because my thing is, I think whenever Microsoft makes their streaming stick, it's just going to blow all these Stadias and whatever this thing is out of the water, and it's just going to they're going to die. Like,
well, the difference is here. This is a handheld device, whereas Xbox is probably not going to do handheld, and also it also works with it also works with with GeForce Now as well, not just Xbox thing.
Sure, yeah. That's where I think it's interesting. We're like, oh, you could probably do something. Like that. But at the same time, like I look at this cloud technology, I'm like, you should probably wait until like the X Cloud is like, more established.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem like you're not wrong, but also you don't want to be. You want to be first if you can be.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
to me, it feels like they're it's like the dodo's falling off the cliff, and Xbox is the one dodo who figured out like, oh, I'll die if I do that.
Right. Square Enix. We actually, I should have mentioned this along with the Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal news, but they're doing some weird shit in many ways. But one of the weird things they're doing now, they're talking about selling stakes of their studios, not the whole studios, but just like letting people like Sony invest in faith. You can get 30% of the Dragon Quest studio or 30% of Luminous Productions. Or
so
weird shit like that.
That means we could crowdfund and get like 20% of Yoko Taro.
Right.
Like,
it's bizarre. We did talk about this a little bit in the first take of this episode that didn't come through, but it feels like when they sold Crystal and Eidos, they were trying to make themselves more what's the word? Attractive for a sale. I think they wanted to sell to Sony, and it feels like that might have fallen through, and this is kind of their backup plan. I do think acquisitions in general are going to be slowing down since it does seem like we're going into a bit of a recession here. And it seems like Square maybe didn't get what they wanted exactly, and they're kind of trying to make the best of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just speculating, of course, but it does feel that way.
I think that's exactly the case. I don't think they're going to get bought. I think they're just going to like try this, and it might work, it might not. It really feels like that CEO they have is like quietly hoping he can exit in some way with a golden parachute.
Right.
So
it's a weird thing, man. It feels like Final Fantasy XIV is kind of just propping up that whole company right now. Forspoken seems like, oh boy, that Forspoken trailer.
I kind of want to play that game. Like I'm like morbidly curious.
Yeah. They released Balan Wonderworld and Babylon's Fall both in the last year. And man, I just don't know if if it wasn't for Forspoken, if they would be or not Forspoken, Final Fantasy 14, if they'd really be in trouble right now, I think.
I think so too, honestly. I think Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest are like the only things that really hold them up.
Yeah.
Like,
and they do have, like, at the end of this year, they have a lot of games coming. I just don't know if any of them are going to hit really well. They got that Dragon Quest Treasure Hunters, Forspoken. I guess that's 2023 now, right? And then they have both. It's kind of weird. They're releasing both the Diofield Chronicles and Tactics Ogre Remaster, which both look very, very similar, and they're coming out at very similar times. Plus, they just did Live Alive, although they didn't publish it here.
I think they'll do well with Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, I would like to play that game.
I think that'll do well.
We actually didn't mention, because we mentioned it in the Lost segment, they had talked about in their financial reports, they also talk about why they sold Crystal and Eidos Montreal, and it's a weird-ass reason that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's very strange.
They had talked about how the releases from those studios were infringing on their releases of their Japanese games, which, I don't think anybody is saying, oh, I would play Dragon Quest 12, but I'm going to play Avengers instead. That doesn't make any damn sense. And B, it's also your responsibility as a publisher to space this shit out.
Yeah, it's so if you look at like the releases, like they were very close together, and like I don't think Avengers was going to cannibalize whatever Final Fantasy game they were making, or Final Fantasy remake.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
It's
all stupid.
It's weird. It does just kind of feed into the notion of they sold those studios off because they wanted to sell their whole corporation and they weren't able to do it. And maybe they still will be able to do it, but it just feels like things are slowing down on that front.
I don't think they will this year. That's for sure.
Well, I don't think they can until the Embracer deal's finalized, and which it's not yet. Speaking of weird deals, Microsoft and Unity have announced some sort of partnership, and I kind of feel like this is a little bit over my head. I'm talking here from somebody who doesn't really. I don't make games. I don't know if you knew that about me. So maybe what I'm going to say here is ignorant, but I don't quite understand what the deal is here. It feels like Unity is going to make Azure their cloud partner. I do hear that a lot more games are being developed in the cloud, using cloud tools. And so them using Azure as their partner is, hey, that's only good news for them, I would guess. And the other way this goes is that it makes Unity games more easily ported to the Xbox and Windows. That all sounds good to me. I don't know.
Unity is a very like utility engine too. Like a lot of games, like there's like some crazy game that was made on Unity. I think it's Soul Hackers 2 or something crazy like that.
That's right.
But yeah, Unity's here to stay. It's a very popular platform to make games on. So it makes all the sense in the world for me for Xbox to partner with them. Like that's money, very good money.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like Azure has kind of become the de facto leader in cloud space. I know there was a time where Amazon was kind of ahead of them in that game, and I don't know if they are anymore. Especially
Luna kind of killed that.
Well, yeah. Well, and I'm just talking about more development tools rather than like for us playing things. I do feel like Microsoft has taken over Amazon even in that space. Never mind the us playing games on the cloud, like there's no competition there. So that's the kind of thing, like it might end up being huge news to the development community, and to us we'll just never know or hear about it. It'll be just like, hey,
we'll never see the fruits of that, honestly.
Let's only a few things left here. Inti Creates, who just put out Azure Striker Gunvolt 3, which has been reviewed really well, they are making a game called Grim Guardians Demon Purge. And if you watch
Great name.
What?
Great name.
Yeah. If you watch this trailer, you will say to yourself, boy, that looks a lot like a 2D Castlevania. And yes, it does look a lot like a 2D Castlevania.
Yeah.
They're a team.
You know.
Go ahead.
More Castlevanias. I was gonna say more Castlevanias. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're a team I would trust. The Azure Striker Gunvolt games are very good. I think they also did the last 2 Blaster Masters, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The promo art they put out is a Castlevania cover.
Yeah, no, it's shameless. It's like I was talking about Turbo Golf Racing, how it's not even like trying to pretend that it's not a Rocket League inspired thing. Like, this is not. You're not supposed to. It's not a mystery where they got their inspiration here in this.
Absolutely.
But if Konami's not going to do it, why the hell not? August 30th is the last day to buy loot boxes in Overwatch, because they are, transitioning into a battle pass model, and they'll have a store and all that stuff. So you can still, if you have loot boxes, you can still redeem them after this day. As a matter of fact, I think if you log in after this date, your loot box will just be opened automatically, but you won't be able to buy any new ones. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. I actually need to log in to Overwatch to make sure I don't have any currency left over, or I don't know how that works, if I got to spend my gold or what, but I better do that soon. TwitchCon was not requiring masks and vaccinations, and they got a lot of backlash for it. Now they've changed their tune. They are requiring masks and vaccinations.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely good. And some dumb fuckers from the FaZe clan.
Oh, of course it's FaZe.
They've said, well, we're going to do our own convention, and we're not requiring this shit. And fuck them.
Well, good. Good.
Yeah, dumb fucks. Yeah, this would make me... I'm not going to go to TwitchCon either way, but I would definitely not go if...
I'd go to TwitchCon over the FaZe Clan convention.
Well, yes, that's what I was going to say. I would if they had not required max and vaccination, I would cancel on them, if I was going anyway. So, yeah, this is a good thing. Not a good thing from FaZe Clan, good thing from TwitchCon. And I don't even know if this is, all of FaZe Clan. Fucking, I barely know what FaZe Clan is, to be honest with you.
I hate FaZe Clan. I fucking hate
I think we've talked about them before. I really am still kind of confused of what they are, but...
It's a esports thing.
Okay.
They're barely esports, so they suck.
Okay. And lastly, our old pal, Jeff Grubb, talked about they're going to do a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game.
Yes, this is awesome.
Now, this is like every other horror licensed game now, it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game where I think 3 players are going to be the clowns and 7 players are going to be the not clowns.
Yeah. It's funny, because this is actually a super profitable IP from Universal.
Is it really?
That they tried out a lot. Yeah, it was at Halloween Horror Nights a few years ago, a very popular scare zone. It's pretty cool that this thing sells for them.
Yeah, I it's just there's gonna be too many of these games now. There's Dead by Daylight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, Friday the 13th happened, but that already kind of just faded out.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting, but now also this one. I do worry about that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be on Game Pass day 1. That's going to help that out. And I think Dead by Daylight is still there.
It's still on Game Pass, yeah.
I just worry, how many of those games can there be?
Yeah, there's all essentially the same game, too, so,
I wonder if Texas Chainsaw Massacre flops if they just put that content in, if they just put Leatherface into Dead by Daylight, and if Killer Clowns from Outer Space flops if they just put the Killer Clowns into Dead by Daylight.
I can see that.
That could be where all this ends up. But I'm don't get me wrong, I don't want there to just be one. Even though it's not a genre I care about. Unless it was Evolve. If they bring back Evolve, I'll start caring. But
I mean, the Evil Dead one's the other one. Oh, and that's a Left 4 Dead.
That was the one I was forgetting.
Yeah, that's more Left 4 Dead than it is.
Yeah, but I think one player can kind of be the director of the other side, right?
You could one player's like a deadite,
yeah,
or can possess people,
right?
Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool concept.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope there's more space, more competition in that space. I don't want there to just be Dead by Daylight and nothing else, but You know, I don't know. When you got this one game, Dead by Daylight, that has Scream and is Freddy in there? I don't.
He is. Yeah, he is in there because like there's a tier list you can find, and Freddy is like so broken he has his own tier.
And it had Stranger Things. I think you can't buy that stuff anymore now. And
they just put Wesker in the game.
Right, Pinhead's in there, and like it's just like I don't know if you can just do, hey, we are just a Killer Clowns game and compete, or we are just a Leatherface game and compete. I don't know.
I'm sure it'll find its audience.
I hope.
Because here's the thing, like these like horror movie fans are gonna play horror movie themed things. That's what they're into. Like,
it sounds like we might be hearing about this at Gamescom. I don't even know who's making it. I don't know if Jeff Grubb has revealed that. Gamescom's coming up real soon, right?
It's like this month. Right?
It's the end of this month, and man, I'm taking a trip in early September. So, boy, I'd like to record an episode. After that. After Gamescom, before my trip, but we'll talk about that at some point and try to schedule that. I guess that's it, right? You got anything else?
Not really. Not a whole lot. Like, I think we covered it.
That's a lot. My throat hurts. What do you got coming up? I saw Combat Club just did an episode. What did you guys talk about?
We did. A lot of stuff we talked about here, actually. That was pre Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and it's funny because that episode comes out, and I said I am not playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But yeah, that's coming out. Phantom Zone, we're still doing the thing where we're releasing episodes when we feel like recording. Like it's just how it's been for a while now. You can always listen to that. Streaming wise, I haven't streamed in a bit because I don't have time. But at the end, when August ends, my weekends become freer. So definitely gonna try and stream more next month.
And where are you on Twitch?
I'm young underscore Kame on Twitch. Or no, young Kame, all one word on Twitch.
Yeah, I meant Twitch and YouTube. Whatever. All the places. Just say all your shit.
On YouTube, I'm just Hunter Davenport. You can find me on there.
And Twitter is young Kame too, with an underscore in there. Whatever.
Yes.
All the stuff. Well, actually, your Twitter will be. Whatever. Yeah. You've seen it.
You'll see it somewhere around this area.
If you don't know, I had some problems with my computer died, and then my car got broken into, and I had a string of bad luck there. So I had not streamed for a while, and I just started again yesterday. I actually did 2 short streams yesterday. I did Super Turbo Golf, like we mentioned, and then I also did some multiverses. And coming up, I would like to stream Kirby's Dream Course, Dream Buffet. I'd like to do the Splatoon test at the end of this month, and I would also like to do the campaign for Splatoon 2 before Splatoon 3 comes out. So anyway, I'm going to be on Twitch a lot coming up here, and that is the same as my YouTube, Freshly Streamed Games. And you can find me on Twitter at BlackheartJV, excuse me. And there you go, YouTube, Freshly Streamed Games, all the stuff. Yay? Anything else? Good?
All right. I got nothing else.
All right. Well, then consider yourselves influenced.